Alright guys, so this is going to be test 2 of the waffle weave Viking towel. I'm going to test this one out again today on this car. I'm going to wash it out and go over it with this. I'm going to re-wet it when I'm done. And we're going to test the heavier towel. This one I think is going to pull up a lot more water and hold more. But for this small, this is a Honda CRX. For this small CRX, this should be plenty. But we're going to go over it with the technique that I do on about 75% of the cars that I do. And it's these two towels for Viking. So they're both the same towel. They're detailing towels. So what I do is I'll spray down the car with a wax as you dry, and then wipe it in with this, and then buff it off with this. So one in one hand, one in the other, and just go around the whole car. And you're pretty much done with these two towels for almost any car, because that's how much these two hold. These are my favorite products from Viking. So they have ones that are for interior. I believe they look similar. They don't feel the same. These are a lot more plush. And I think the seam is black instead of silvery gray. So stay with us, and I'm going to get real quick. I wanted to show you what I was going to use to wash the car off with today. This is Zymol Auto Wash. This is my favorite soap. It's going to be in the foam cannon to start off with. That should be more than enough. Get back to you when I'm foaming. Alright guys, so as you can see, it doesn't foam up as good as a lot of stuff out there. But the reason why I use it is because it's slicker than anything I've ever found. So you're not going to get any scratches in the paint and stuff, or you're going to get less scratches in the paint when you use this. And this is it says like the original formula. It's old. Like I've been using this stuff for probably about 20 years. It used to come in a lot bigger bottle. They used to actually sell it at Walmart years ago. I don't know if you can get it there or not anymore, but still my favorite. It does a decent job. It's a lot smaller bubbles. We did a video a while back, and the reason why it's looking dimply on the paint is because there's obviously coating on the paint. So it's hard for even this stuff to bite to even get a good clean, I would guess you would say, because it's so slick. And the paint is so hydrophobic. But we're going to give it a minute, let it do its thing, drag all the dirt. There's a little bit of dirt down here. Other than that, the car stays in the garage and it stays covered. So we'll let it do its thing and we'll get back at it. Real quick, I thought I'd show the sponge that I'm using. It's got a sponge and it's got microfiber on the outside. I don't know if this is made by Viking or not. There's no tag on it, and I've had it for a long time. Super plush. I love it because it fills up and you can use it. No, I don't think I get any scratches from this thing. So just thought I'd show you guys. Come in a little closer. Super, super soft. I've had this for quite a few years. And again, I only use it on this car. So I have like a kit of stuff that I use just for this car. Done rinsing and washing the car. We're going to try this waffle weave towel for the second time. I've washed it already, so it should be more absorbent. Absorbency wasn't the problem the first time. It was just how light it was for me. But we're going to test it out, and we're going to fold it up and use it like this and see how it dries. Let's get after it. doing a good job the first few passes, and then it's getting filled up in the section that I'm using it. Which is to be expected because it's only using a little bit of towel, but it's drying it off pretty good. And we're going to use the other towel as well after. I'm going to re-wet it, rinse it off, and we're going to use another towel as well. So you see the side's still pretty dry, a little wet here at the seam, but so it's doing a pretty good job of drying. A little bit here is still wet where it didn't hit. It's leaving a slight drag. Let me bring you in and show you what it's leaving. So I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Very tiny, it's hard to see, but very tiny beads. Those should all come off just by evaporation. But that's what this one's leaving. So now we're going to, I'll dry a little bit more, but you can see how wet it got as it soaked through. But we're gonna re-wet the car and dry it with the other towel. And we're gonna come back and I'll show you how I normally would dry this. As you can see, I've re-wet the car. I'm going to use the bigger Viking drying towel. It's got like a loop here and then like a shaved loop there, so it's decently plush. But I'm gonna drag it. This is how I would normally use this towel, and I'll keep the tag upwards. We'll start on the hood. And normally you would wet a towel like this or dampen it a little bit so it gets everything off with the first pull. As you can see, it got about 90% of it. Once you do a couple drags, it starts picking up everything a lot faster. Just hit the windshield, because it'll have a little weight to it. So it's leaving close to the same haze, very light water beading as the other one that I said would come off just by itself. But I'll bring you in so you can see it. Let me hit the hood again now that I have the towel wet. So you guys can see it. So, and it didn't hit here, so you see how wet it is. And then right here where the towel didn't drag and hit it. But it'll leave little streaks here and there. So the roof, all right, get in close. See how it left a little bit of streaking? If it wasn't overcast, this guy. If it wasn't overcast, all that would have been evaporated by now. I'll show you. This guy just wants to be in the video. That was pretty cheesy. I'll get you close, show you this fender. So super dry on the fender. Set up the wet bumper and hood. So I say it gets about 99% of it, but you still get a little tiny streaking. Now I'm gonna wet the car down and show you how I'd normally dry it. All right guys, here's one of my secret weapons. Eagle 1 wax as you dry. So this is what I'm gonna spray on here. I've been using this stuff for years, maybe like right out of high school. So, which is like 3 years ago for me. But we're gonna spray it on. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but watch what it does to the water. It sort of beads it up a little different. It works pretty good if the car isn't super hot and baking. So normally I wouldn't spray that much of the car, but it's overcast today. I'm going to use both these towels, one basically to buff it in and one to buff it off. Once the towel gets wet, it'll start to absorb a little more. Neither of these have I primed. None of the towels today I primed. So that's all I'm going to do with that. Follow it with this one. Now I don't have any towel dragging on the floor. Don't have to worry about none of that. Using the same side on both of them. And I'll hit the glass afterwards because I'm more concerned with the paint. Flip over the rags now. A little of this stuff goes a long way. You can get it on the glass, that's not an issue either. Wet one. Why I use this is it's the slickest car wax as you wash or wax as you dry that I've ever used. So today's a good day to do this too, test it, because normally the car would be drying off because it's so hot here. Got decently lucky between the rain and the heat. So if you have a bigger car, use more of these. get in here and show you. All right, guys. So the memory card was getting full. I had to erase some stuff, so it's been a few minutes, unfortunately, but probably about 3 minutes. You can see just a very little bit of water was left. I'll go ahead and wipe it off with the drier one. So it's hard to see on the hood carbon fiber, but you see a couple little spots. I'm going to hit the windshield too, just so you guys can see how good these work in comparison to anything else. And like I said, for me, to be able to put on the wax as you dry is the key. So you use that with this, and these do a good job of knocking it all off. Okay, quick final thoughts on the towels. This one, again, this is the waffle weave towel. I like it quite a bit, actually. It's real light, easy to use, just fold it up, but I wouldn't use this on a regular basis because I do too many cars. So if you're somebody who has one car and that's all you're going to be doing, this is going to be great. And you can hang it out and dry it probably within 2 hours. This will be dry if you just hang it out. This is what I would use if you're looking for something to do more than one car at a time. If you got yours and your wife's car, or yours and your husband's car, and you want to do some detailing or washing the cars without any drying aids, no spray waxes or anything like that, this is what I would use. You can still use those things with this, but this isn't my choice. But as a drying towel, this is what I would use. This will hold a lot of water. So you do a couple of cars and wring it out, and then keep using it throughout the day. But like I said before, this is the winner in my book for drying and using a drying aid. Since I do that a lot, this is what I would pick. And it's from Viking Car Care, and it's the Monster Junior. Love this thing. It's probably about 12 by 14 inches, something like that. I have their bigger one as well. It's the same kind of towel. I guess it's just called the Monster. But with drying aid, this is what I would use. 2 of these for the small car, and I would use 4 of them for a bigger car. I use 4 of them on an SUV. And I don't know if they make this or not. As you can see, it's pretty close to the same color. But I don't know if they make this or not. But this is the kind I like. It's the same style microfiber. And it's got the big sponge in it. So I like to squeeze it as I'm using it. Keeps the panel wet and lubricated. So let me know what you guys think. What would you pick? What would you buy? All of them are pretty good choices. Again, the smaller is my favorite. The next one would be this beast, and then this one. Let me know in the comments which one you would pick. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And these are all Viking towels.